I also listened to it very well, very good informed discussion. But the missing link there is that the aviation industry cannot run with miserably paid workers. In fact, most of the workers, they are not even unionized. They are not protected. They have no coverage. I mean, the major airlines with all their brand names, most of them don't allow for unionization. They hold workers for about 7 months, 8 months. I mean, how Nigeria arrived at this abuse of workers' rights is simply unacceptable. And I think what we need to do as organized labor, who have the responsibility for enforcing and defending the rights of the working people, is to make sure that this year the labor market issues, are put on the agenda. First, we need to protect jobs. We need to create more jobs. This number of unemployment. You are really you can't get people out of poverty. When majority of those who are eager to work, they couldn't get jobs. Somebody have said so that Nigerian youths now have all the degrees. They have the MA, PhD, HND, but they don't have the real degree, which is JOB, which is jobs. And I think there must be emergency, on the part of the government to really move and make sure we create jobs. And the only way to create sustainable jobs is to revive the industries that have collapsed. And this is why those of us in the private sector, we have been on the road. Last year we marked African Industrialization Day to revive the closed industries. And I'm happy some of the few measures have been taken now. It's not so much a ban of imported goods. We must import substitute. We have to produce at home. Nigeria is not a productive economy, and that's why there are no workers. As the case may be. The whole history of Nigeria in the 70s, 80s is that this used to be a functioning economy in which we were almost having full employment. In fact, some other workers from other parts of Africa were working here. So we must have employment, and those who have jobs must be given. If we
allow you, Mr. Aremu, you would just carry on. There's so much in your heart you want to let out. I will get back to giving you the opportunity to say all that's in your heart. But let me come in here to bring Mr. Ajero. Mr. Ajero, there's something here said, and that's tied to a message we got earlier about a lady who was sacked by an employer after 10 years of service by just an email. He mentioned, he used a phrase, he said, we need to protect jobs. You said earlier the Nigerian worker has to fight. But who is he fighting? What is he fighting? Oh, so, okay, should it be who or what or how when he can just be sacked by just an email?
Well, it equally depends on the union in that industry. I was here last year when the issue of Ikeja Electric and other places happened. If you sack a worker through email, of course it's becoming the intent, especially in the banking industry. They send you a mail, you can't even log in. The very moment you can't log in, you know that your job has finished. Now, the way we do it, before you come to the central labor organization, the union in that industry, will first of all take up that issue, especially if they have condition of service. If they have condition of service, there will be a procedure, to disengage a staff. And there will be a package for somebody that has worked for 10 years. That to the extent that if the person is leaving, at least he will be happy. You can't just sack him without notice, unless it has to do with disciplinary issues, that he faced an ad hoc and was convicted. Based on that, there is stipulation in the workers' handbook that if you commit this offense, this is your punishment. But to wake up and somebody sends an email, the worker alone will not be able to fight that cause. But take this. Some of the workers, will tell you they don't want union. And you see that such a worker, go and check it, he's not a member of any union. Now at that point, who is he going to run to? Because some of the companies these days, they will tell them to sign an agreement that they will not belong to union. So if you go there to say, why did you sack somebody through an email? You a busybody, and the person will equally tell you that I'm not your member. So these things, that's why we talk about the issue of unionization. And he mentioned the issue of aviation workers, Just last December, we had to visit ARIC, over non-payment of 7 months' salary and no unionization. So I have in my hand now the agreement signed by ARIC, because that was the first assignment the United Labour Congress decided to perform. Based on our affiliates, they Association of Pilots and Engineers. Now, we got it clear that they must unionize ARIC, and the 7-month salary must be paid within 1 day, because we had to strategize. First and foremost, we asked our ally, the NUPENC, to withdraw supply of aviation fuel to ARIC. That happened. And then we moved in there. You know, to the extent that if ARIC had not budged to the demand, you know, we put forward before them, they won't fly. And they know the implication. So by the time unions get organized and go into what we call solidarity, when we shout solidarity forever, there could be unions that will not have the capacity to do it. But by the time you bring your own technical capability to join them, that's solidarity. You will succeed in this. Like he said, there seems to be much precarious work. That worker will tell you after 10 years they sent him an email. Find out from him, are you a member of any union? Now the first thing should have been to report to the union, and the union takes it over from there.
If you seek employment and right from the start you are made to understand that there's no unionism here, you are torn between, oh, I want to be a member of a union, or I want to get this job.
Well, let me say this. Beyond the Trade Union Act and the company condition of service is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Section 40. The right to form, belong to any trade union of your choice is a right that no employer can take away from you because of his handbook, because of his condition of service. It's an inalienable right that you must express. So whether he's telling you, he's compelling you because he knows that you are under pressure to get a job because of the unemployment situation, he's taking undue advantage, you know, to ask you to sign a document. And that is null and void, because the Constitution of Nigeria takes precedence to whatever rules he's making you to go through.
Okay, let's quickly go back to the issues and we're looking at the minimum wage issues and a whole lot of others. And Comrade Aremu said we need to reverse the trend. What does it take to reverse this trend?
Well, like I said before, and you are trying to raise the issue when I say fight. There is no time that you have a magnanimous management. From the colonial days, the Imodu days, the little we got has been through fighting, through struggle. And that's why we have it that the struggle continues. That is how we are going to reverse the trend. Now let's assume that President Buhari came into office in 2015 and maybe he used the whole of 2016 to stabilize. Now, and he knew that the salary in place has expired. The agreement we had on that had expired. And there's a lot. The inflation has gone high. Devaluation of the currency. A bag of rice is higher than, the price is higher than minimum wage. And all that. For us to reverse the trend, we have to go back to the trenches, as we say in labor circles.
Okay, Mr. Aremu, when we come back from, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll ask Mr.
Comrade Aremu.
Comrade Aremu, ask Comrade Aremu to weigh in on the strength to protect the worker in a divided house. We'll be back shortly. Don't go away.